Hello, good morning.
Hello. My voice is still gone.
She's feeling much better.
But I'm feeling better. I wouldn't say much better. Let's not
mince the words.
Let's not make it to where if I need a nap today, you will be like, oh, but you were feeling better. So I'm feeling better, but I have the option of a nap. So
like I regulate your nap schedule.
This is true, but mostly I feel guilty. So I just want you to know that there could be a nap happening. I forgot one thing though. Would you get me the little case that holds up?
Here, show them this and tell them what we're doing.
So we're going to get started. Sorry. Welcome to Waste Not Wednesday, where we take junk and turn it into items that we either sell in our shop or use for home decor. In today's episode, we're going to be showing you how to take these pieces of wood. They're just old fencing that we had from 2 years ago. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we're turning them into little customized crates, and they're going to be gifts for my girlfriends. I really only have one friend that watches my channel, so Christy, if you're watching and this ruins the surprise, I'm sorry. So, good morning. So what we have are these planks of wood that 2 years ago, that's been 2 years? 3 years?
2.5, 3, yeah, something like that. It's been a while. 2.5
years ago, we did Pinners Conference, and the requirement of Pinners Conference is that you have a kit for every seat that you have in your class, even though they do not pre-sell every seat, meaning you could have 30 spots, and Pinners Conference is like, you need to have 200 kits. So we have a lot of these pre-cut, kind of stained pieces of fence wood, lots of them. And so we're trying to find creative ways to use them up, which, hello, creative way number one is these little boxes.
So the cedar fencing comes in about 6 foot length. It's like $1.83 for a 6 foot length of it. And it is about this wide, about 5.5 inches. It's not uniform. Some are going to be 5 right on, some are going to be 5.5. And if you have old scrap fencing or also like pallet wood or something sitting around, this is a great way to use that up too.
And you could totally take this idea that we're using for Christmas presents and you could customize it for Christmas decor, change it up with a few little Christmas trees in it, or just use greenery with some red berries. I mean, the sky's the limit. But what I'm doing is I have these, so we have a favorite things party. Zeb, would you fix the curtain? We worked really hard to there we go. Boom. This is our new studio backdrop. We just did a video on it on Monday. But anyways, I purchased these set of 3 flowers. They were $13.99 a piece. And I have a budget that I have to stick with for my friends. We have a favorite things party, and each friend brings 6 gifts, and then they go home for each friend, and then you come home with 6 gifts from each.
All the friends.
Anyways, all the friends. And I can only spend so much money. I was like, well, I don't want to just give them like.
They have a budget. You're not supposed to spend too much.
Yeah, we can only spend $20, and I already have something else that I'm throwing in there. And I didn't want to just give them like 3 plants, but I wanted to, not spend any extra money. So since we already have this, I'm not counting it in my budget. That works, right?
You can show them the IKEA boxes are down there.
Oh, yeah.
So you can show them what they look like.
This is what it looks like from IKEA. There you go. But you could also thrift these or find some other plants that you have around the house. So all of my friends are getting 3 of these in a box, and I have a little custom twist that's going to come with stenciling. So we're going to get started here.
Did you tell them about our surprise?
Oh yes, and
stay tuned. We'll tell you the details.
Because we're gonna give you. Sorry, I shouldn't interrupt you.
No. That's all I was gonna say. You didn't interrupt.
I'm just excited. We are going to be doing a stencil brush, and IKEA mat giveaway once we get to that point in the video. So stay tuned because you're not gonna want to miss out on that. All right, now we're gonna get started.
Okay, so I gotta build 6 of these. And I was supposed to have them done before we got started, but I got to show you how to do it. So what I did is I used just my skill saw and ripped these down. They used to be this big, and now I made them this size so that they fit these little planters down in there really nice and easy. So just a quick little cut there, and then I also cut these in half. And so I've got this big stack of boards here, but we have probably 150, 200 more of these cut out like this. And I have nothing to do with them. They've just been sitting in the closet for 2 years.
Well, we did use them for Christmas tree bases. I mean, you guys are going to see these coming out on Waste Not Wednesday for probably a few weeks with different ideas.
All right, so I want to raise the base of this up because if I left it all the way down, it would really hide the flower pot there. So what I'm doing is I've just got, you know, some spacers. I happen to have these little trucks here at the shop, and a row of staples just worked out perfectly. So what I'm doing is I'm just setting that there. If you're at home in your shop, or if I was at home, I probably would have just cut a quick piece of wood to be the correct height for the spacer. But you know, we make it do here at the store. So I'm just gonna take this nailer. This is the Milwaukee 18 gauge nailer, and it has paid for itself 100 times over with sign making.
That's how we put up all the shiplap.
Yeah, sign making and shiplap we put up, shiplap at the house. So it is really, really handy.
I have a feeling we might be making a bunch of signs this size. That could be our next Waste Not Wednesday. Okay, so somebody just asked, these are the fekja, which means fake in Swedish, flowers. They're $15 for 3. And we're just creating a crate, if you're just tuning in, to house them in. And we're going to show you how to make it look like old barnwood. And then we're going to do a custom stencil. I like to customize my favorite things gifts for my girlfriends. And so I picked out a word for each one of my friends for 2020. And I'm going to stencil that word on the bottom. Because I thought about stenciling it on the actual piece, but I don't know if that's going to match their decor. So they will know it's there, and each one of them will have a different word for 2020 on the bottom. My girlfriends and I have been doing the favorite things party for how many years now?
I don't know, 10?
Yeah, a long time. And every year it's always fun to see what they bring. I always have a theme. Although this year there's not really a theme. The theme is called Cold, and so I barely started planning.
Okay.
Now we're using pre-bought fence wood, but you can use salvage wood to make these boxes.
Salvage wood would be preferable.
Yeah.
But we have this and we need to use it, so.
And the other thing is this false bottom that raises it up makes these little teeny tiny inexpensive pots. It gives them a little bit of volume, and it just makes the piece look bigger instead of kind of chintzy.
And you could also do like jars with flowers out of them or something.
Oh yeah,
you could make
like
it fit a
spaghetti
quart jar
jars.
Or like a pint jar or whatever, leftover
Or tin
stuff.
cans.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things.
We have the ones on our porch with the tin cans with IOD trim. And then with the tin cans, I like to actually put the false bottom even higher so that way I can decorate the front. All right, so Zeb is doing nails, right?
Yeah, they're nails. So it comes in a strip of 100 at a time, like that. And you just drop it in there, 1.5 inches.
Oh my gosh, Julie Marie is hilarious. She's like, I didn't have my glasses on. I was wondering, why is Jamie putting the chalk gun in her mouth? It's my water bottle.
Whoops. That one shot through. Occasionally that happens.
Just reading everybody's on here.
Which means I might need to grab pliers.
What happened? Did you make
I missed.
Mistake. All right, I'm going to start the next part of this while you finish assembling these because I have to have 6.
If it's too loud with the nail gun, I can assemble these other ones probably
Later.
off camera or later or something.
Well, the other reason for this is
So if
because
it's loud, type in.
I only get a limited amount of Zeb time for my projects while he's working on the farmhouse. So I had to combine Waste Not Wednesday with the project that I needed for my girlfriends. Because let's be honest, after this 1 hour, you're going to leave and go to the farmhouse. Oh.
I'm trying. We're trying to get that thing put together.
I do know how to use the staple gun. My skills are not as good as your skills.
Well, I just missed, so.
So you have the glue gun out. Were you originally going to glue them?
So a piece of board broke on one, so
Okay.
I glued it.
If you wanted to, you could add glue on all your seams if you want to be fancy.
If you're going to put them outside, I would definitely say use glue.
But
These are going to live inside with
These
fake
are
plants.
fake plants. They require no sun and no water. Woo woo! And the reason why they're pink is because about this time of year, my girlfriends and I are tired of no sun, so we got to bring the outdoors in.
Winter's just barely getting going.
I know.
Actually, we're not even officially into winter yet.
They said it's not loud at all. How much did that gun cost them?
So this gun was $230, and it came with a battery. So that's nice because the batteries can run you $60 to $100 depending on which one you get. So it is a little bit of an investment up front. For a long time, I used, and I still do use it because it does staples as well, the central pneumatic nailer stapler. It's also 18 gauge that you can get from Harbor Freight. That's only $30, but you also need to have a compressor with that. And this is really convenient. I'm not attached to a cord or anything. It won't do staples. It only does nails, but most things just need nails unless you're doing upholstery or chicken wire.
I need a very lightweight cordless staple gun because I would like to do upholstery again, but I can't do stuff.
Fat chance of finding one lightweight. They have to have all the battery and stuff.
Well, maybe an electric one. How about that? It doesn't require the air compressor.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to probably do upholstery projects for the new house, I'm sure. Because I won't be able to find what I want, and then I'm going to have to make it. Okay, so we're going to get started on how we finish these. If Zeb gives me some space here. Hold on.
You've got a lot of table that way.
I know, but I got stuff over here for the giveaway.
Oh.
Can I have that old and gray over there?
Yes.
Okay, these would be cute painted chippy. They would. So we're going to go with a little bit less involved finish because I have like 6 of them. So I'm using old and gray, which is a water-based stain. This actually counts for Waste Not Wednesday because you see that it got damaged in my shipment, so I couldn't resell it. So we just kept it, and I'm using it for projects. So this also was technically something that would have been thrown away because it wasn't sellable, and I'm using it. Happens a lot. Okay, so I've got I'm using the big jar, so I've got my blending brush from DIY. Oh, $10 super chat says, for some beds, Jamie. Love your channel. I scored on Cyber Monday IOD sale. Awesome. Cyber Monday was really good. I actually am on Mucinex, and I have an inhaler, and I actually had to buy 2 new, what are they called? Humidifiers because my mom and my daughter were sick. Yeah, so we now have 3 cool mist humidifiers. When you have a family of 7, which currently is a family of 9,
sick all at once.
You can't have just one humidifier. And the cool thing is, though, I did teledoc, and I did not have to go into the doctor. And we have, because we're self-employed, our insurance doesn't cover doctor's visits, so we have to pay cash. So it was nice because teledoc here with Intermountain is like $49. And I literally FaceTimed the doctor from my bed. She called my prescription in. She told me the nasal spray, all the things that I needed to be doing, the things that I kind of already knew.
Well, sophisticated.
Anyways, it was great. So I'm just wiping the old and gray back with a rag here, and I will bring this up close so you can see it. That is what that old and gray looks like. And we will be finishing this off with a little bit of white wax, and that will give us our barnwood effect. You can see that's pretty darn quick. And the nice thing about the DIY old and gray is that it is water-based, so I don't have to wear gloves. It doesn't stink, so it's not going to choke me up, especially when I'm sick. And I don't have to do it outside. And it dries in like 15 minutes, whereas traditional stain is like 24 hours. And it's kind of toxic, traditional stain, whereas this is not. So let's see. I need a whole house humidifier. I keep telling them the new farmhouse needs it. He said first the farmhouse has to get a roof. Yes. And then I can add things like that. So I guess I will be saving my pennies. It's so dry out here in Utah. It's rough. And you know, when you're sick, the last thing that goes is your voice. So when you start to feel better, you actually sound worse. Renee says, wish I could find teledoc that her work would accept. Well, anybody can use it, but then you have to pay $50 if you don't have insurance. Anybody can use the Intermountain one. I don't know what your copay is for visits, but if your copay is more than $50, you might as well just pay cash and not use your insurance. And the nice thing is I can use teledoc anywhere. So when we travel or whatever, I could call in. Oops, there's a... I'm gonna have to,
hammer.
Oh, a hammer? There you go. Hold on.
I'll have to hit it again later, it looks like.
No, it's fine. It's just a little nubbin.
You didn't recess it down in.
Are you saying I didn't hit that hard enough?
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Mucinex nighttime liquid is awesome. I haven't tried it, but I'm on the daytime stuff. I did take NyQuil last night because I haven't been taking it, and the night before I didn't get enough sleep. So this morning I woke up kind of groggy.
Oops. Looks
I
like
did
got jam.
a NyQuil / melatonin cocktail last night. So I slept good. Oh, Renee says she has to have a doctor's visit note when she's out. I bet they could send an email. Vicky says she loves the beanie I'm wearing. I've been wearing a beanie lately when I'm working on my projects in the garage. It's been a little chilly. I'm wearing the beanie because my hair looks like this. I was in a hurry, so I was like, let's cover that up. I didn't have time for a straight part. It's actually not that cold today. It's like 40.
Yeah, we've had great warm weather. It's supposed to snow Thursday, so tomorrow or Friday, but it keeps pushing it back. Boy, that one hit a knot or something.
Hold on, this little tag's supposed to be on the side. Completes the look.
But they are going like crazy over at the farmhouse. They're hoping to have everything formed up today, then we can get it inspected, and then we can pour cement.
Yep. We're excited. Things are moving along.
And get the foundation going.
Yeah.
I should have another video tomorrow on the farmhouse. We've been putting up all the beams and things that we had to redo, and those should be done today, and then we'll be ready to get that inspected. Once that gets inspected, we can run electrical and do shiplap.
Show them this.
Okay, are you gonna do the inside as well or no?
No.
Okay, so this is what it looks like without old and gray. You can kind of see
The contrast.
the contrast there.
And Old and Gray has a built-in sealer, which means for a project like this, you do not have to seal it. You're done. Like if you didn't want to do white wax after the Old and Gray, you could be totally done unless you're going to put it outside. You wouldn't need to do anything else to this. But I'm going to let this dry for a little bit, and then we're going to add some white wax, and then I'll show you the cute little touch that I'm going to do on the bottom. And because I am stenciling on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and Old and Gray the bottom.
All right, I got one more of these to assemble.
How old is the farmhouse? The farmhouse was built in 1917. That's why if you ever see us wear things that say Farmhouse 1917, that is our farmhouse brand. So we actually have a brand.
We branded the farmhouse.
We branded the farmhouse. You know me, I'm all about marketing, so our farmhouse is Farmhouse 1917. And we hashtag most of our posts, I'm getting better about it, Farmhouse 1917, because that's the year it was built. And it's actually no longer a farmhouse because it has no farm, but there is a cow that lives 2 yards away that I can see from my backyard. So it used to be the farmhouse in the area. All the land belonged to that house. I believe it's the oldest house in that particular area. If you go over a street, my friend's house was built in like 1902. They actually just sold that.
So you can see here, this one, what I'm talking about, the uniform. I haven't cut this down. This is the same board out of the same stack. Look at how much the difference is on the width there. So we're gonna get a little bit of overlap. If that bothers you, you can cut it and make it even, but it doesn't bother me, so I'm gonna just leave it.
It's rustic. Do I have mermaid transfers? We don't, but we have mermaid molds, and you can make mermaid molds out of clay or resin. Let's see. People are talking about the weather, and Sharon says she lives in an old farmhouse built in 1821.
Ooh.
Your farmhouse might be our farmhouse.
Yeah, that wins.
Where we live, there aren't too many houses that old because there weren't many people living in Utah in 1821.
Yeah, Utah is...
You have to go into Salt Lake to find. They're really just, I mean, there might be teepees that old here because there were Indians back in the day.
Native Americans.
Sorry. Ute Native Americans. You can have Zeb make a huge cow for in your bar yard.
Yeah.
I would rather have Zeb make a pool.
We're
That's the
actually-
kind of farm girl I am.
We're actually zoned the same as the neighbors. Their yard is just much bigger. So while we technically probably could have a cow in the corner of our yard, it would be a small, tiny little space, and I wouldn't want to do that.
There is a mermaid transfer. It's called Sea Queen. Caitlin just put it on there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I stink at life.
It's not a new one.
No, I forgot about it. It's because it's old, and I haven't used it in a while.
I don't think we've used it. Have we ever used that one?
No, we don't do a lot of coastal.
Yeah, we're a long ways away from the ocean.
Let's be honest. The reason why we had a mermaid craft that we did with these is because I did it in California.
Yeah, we did
And in California, mermaids are everything.
We did the San Diego.
All right, did you get them all built?
Damn,
You're fast. All right, do you want to show them how to add some white wax? Just kind of dry brush the white wax on there, not everywhere. Okay, Zeb's going to show you the next step, and I'm going to work on this second box.
Oh, we lost a piece of wood on this one.
Where?
I don't know.
It's right there.
This is what the glue's for. Lost a chunk of wood.
Get goats and make goat's milk.
So
I actually don't want to keep anything else alive for a while. It's gotten a little bit crazy at our house. Maybe eventually we'll get chickens again, but I don't know. My kids keep asking for a dog, but that's not going to happen because Caitlin's little boy is like deathly allergic. So unless his allergy goes away, we will not have a dog in our house.
All right, so I use Titebond 2 wood glue. I like it a lot. Exterior kind of stuff, you might want to use Titebond 3 because it is water resistant. But the Titebond 2 is a really strong bond, and this fun little glue, I don't know.
What?
I don't even know what to call it. It's the glue bot.
It's a glue bot.
But the container that I keep the
It's
glue
a
in
dispenser.
is the dispenser. There you go. It's called the glue bot, GLU-BOT. You can find them on Amazon. I think there's also a link in all of our videos for this because we get asked about this a lot.
If you use the link off of our videos, we get a small little stipend. So feel free to use that link. All right, can you tell me the name of the mats we use for my kit? Yeah, they're buried right now. I don't know. Hold on, let's see. Wait for it. There's no way I'm saying that. Hold on. The Fin Fordella. That's what we got there.
So what is it, like $2 for those?
Yes, $2 for 2 mats.
For 2 mats, so $1 a mat. They come in a 2-pack. All right, so this is not quite dry yet, but that's okay. We're gonna just hit it with a little bit of this DIY white wax, and I've got the Paint Pixie wax brush here that we're gonna use. I'm gonna kind of scrape some of it off because I want it to be more of a drier white wax look. Yeah, I'll come close so you can see. So I'm just gonna brush it on real kind of light like that, here and there. And then we'll work that back in too. You can always take sandpaper or clear wax if you get too much on there, and that'll help bring it back off. But it's basically like a dry brush application. You can see how that just adds even a little more age, and it's going to sit down in the cracks of the wood grain.
Well, we're gonna wipe it off too. We need to find a rag.
I have a rag out.
Okay.
See, I got a little heavy right there. We'll blend that in.
Let's see, I have a cement pig in our yard. It's hidden by brush now, but I don't think we'll ever be able to move it. I'm sure it weighs a ton. You can get these mats at the Dollar Tree, apparently 2 for $1, so even cheaper.
Sorry, guys. All right. So this is just a lint-free rag, and I'm going to kind of blend that brush stroke where I got it too heavy in.
Do we need to do the inside of these? No, once you put these in there, you can't really see much. Maybe this little bit here. Were the planks planed before cutting? Oh, we sanded them.
So they're just sanded.
It's pretty raw.
It's pretty raw cut. It's rough cut lumber, which is how you get a lot of the good character. But because we were doing a class with these, I sanded all of these down so that there weren't like any splinters that people could catch their hand on. If you run your hand across it, you're not going to get any splinters now.
Running them through the planer would have been faster.
You can run them through the planer, yeah, if you've got one.
We didn't. The problem with our planer is it's a big hot mess.
Yeah.
You have to commit to cleaning up all the shavings that the planer planes off. And sometimes we're just not that committed to it.
All right, so that's pretty much finished there.
I feel like it needs to be rubbed in a little bit more. It's kind of streaky on the back.
Is it streaky?
On the back. I like it. You know what you can do? I brought out the clear wax. Take that clear wax and go over the top of it, and that'll help smooth it.
All right.
And I have a clear wax brush right there. I know. Look at me, I was prepared. So if you want it more of a dry brush look, you can leave it like that, but we also have clear wax. If you use clear wax, sometimes you can get that white wax to move a little bit. Or you can clear wax them first and then white wax them, and that'll give you a little bit more control. Is that helping?
I'm just going to use, oh yeah, I just blended that in.
There you go. There. Clear wax for the win. He's using the DIY synthetic brush. So we carry the Paint Pixie line, but if you go under the DIY line at JamiRayVintage.com, which I haven't mentioned yet, subsequently, so you can get all these products that we're using, the paint, the stain, all of that at JamiRayVintage.com, or at our shop in Lehigh, or Plant Bar AZ in New River, Arizona. Anyways, I digress. The clear wax really does help move that white wax around. See that? So anytime you have a problem with wax, whether it be dark or white wax, if you just can't get it to move, you can always clear wax on top of it, and it works a little bit like an eraser and a blender. So don't forget that tip, because that's a good one.
So let me show you the difference here. Did you already do this one? You haven't.
I'm not white waxed it.
So this one hasn't been white waxed yet, and this one has. You can see the difference that the white wax makes. It's kind of subtle when you're looking at it, but what it's going to do is it's going to give you highs and lows that really make it look like it's been sun bleached and sitting out in the weather for a long time versus one solid color. So it's a nice touch on that.
All right, let's get to the giveaway. Yeah?
Yeah, show them the stuff. I'm going to keep waxing.
So, well, I'm going to get you started stenciling once we start the giveaway. All right, I'm moving my flowers down. We don't want them to get damaged. Put that box over there. Okay, we are going to do 2 giveaways for 2 people. Here's the rules. Sorry, had to take a breath. You have to share this video either on Facebook, or if you have your own YouTube channel, you can do it in your community tab, or just text a friend. The way you share is underneath the video, there's this little thing that says share. And when you click it, you hit copy link, and then you can share that into Facebook, you can share it into your community tab, or just text a friend. I don't care. However it works, because I know that not everybody does Facebook or has a community tab. That's all you have to do is share it. And then I want you to comment giveaway and then shared. That way I know that your comment is for the giveaway and you've shared it. So, all right. So, and you can do that whether we're live or after it airs. We will announce the giveaway next Waste Not Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. What is the date next Wednesday? Let's see.
Yeah, get the date.
I gotta get the date. So next Wednesday, December 11th, 2019 will be when we announce the giveaway. So each person is gonna get a set of 2 IKEA mats. Our trio, which we're going to be using, is our brand new stencil set. It has the 2-inch uppercase, lowercase, and numbers, and you will get a number 18 JRV stencil brush. So giveaway and shared is what you need to do. So you need to share it, and then you need to comment, giveaway, and shared. Next week when we announce the winner, you will need to email customer care at JamiRayVintage.com. So we will mention that next week. That way we can get a hold of you, because that's really the only good way to get a hold of people on the YouTube.
It also keeps you safe, so you're not putting
we don't want you to put personal information in comments
can see
ever. Exactly.
So don't put your address in comments. Don't do it.
I think it'll delete it, but
yeah, it holds it for review for me to look at.
So anyways, that's how you do that. That's the giveaway. We're really excited about this new trio because it makes an inexpensive way for you to customize things like gifts or signs or merchandise for your shop, because you're getting uppercase, lowercase, and numbers. If you don't win the giveaway but you still want to order them, you can pick those up on our website as well, JamiRayVintage.com, or the shop in Lehigh or in New River. So there you go. Commercial done.
Also, don't forget, we've got a lot of retailers nationwide.
Oh, that's right.
We've got one in Australia,
Germany.
There's one in Germany, and there's a couple in Canada, I believe.
And how do you find those retailers? You can go to jrvwholesale.com. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. That's why you're here. You keep me in line. And Caitlin can drop that into the live comments, but we'll also put the link to the retailer locator in the description box if you're not watching this live. So we're going to get to the next step. When you're done with that, that's going to give you some pointers on how to use the trio We're gonna be using the lowercase.
I'm gonna get some tape.
And I'll share with you the words that I'm putting on the bottom. They're not all the same. Each friend gets a different word. I'm all about words and thinking about them and thinking, oh my goodness, hold on, drink.
So hopefully by next Waste Not Wednesday, over here on this wall.
Hold on, I wasn't done. I had to take a drink.
You were still talking?
Mhm.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm all about words for the new year. I always like to think about things and then make a word and then stick with it. Okay, now on to Zeb.
So for hopefully by the time we do the next Waste Not Wednesday, you see us go off camera to grab things from our shelves over there. We're hoping to have a pegboard with some shelving or some sort of storage over on this wall on the other side of Jami here. That way we can just easily grab it real quick. And hopefully that happens this next week between farmhouse stuff and all the other things we do. But we'll see, but that's the plan. And we'll do a video on that too, because I'm also going to add a camera system up above, which may not be the most exciting thing to watch us do, but it might be fun to see how we do the filming, because instead of working off a tripod, I'm going to have a boom come down so we can angle it and rotate it around and get you close while we're live pretty easily. So it should really increase the quality of the video, so we're not just sitting here the whole time working in front of you and poking stuff at the camera.
Yeah, so we'll have some good things going on. We're excited. I feel like our channel is more like a network, because you get like the live videos, you get the farmhouse videos, you get the Christmas videos. In fact, hopefully Friday's video this week will be a Christmas tour. I'm about halfway decorating my house, so that will motivate me to get the rest of the items out of the garage.
So I'm only stenciling these on the bottom?
Yep.
Okay, so I probably don't need the tape, but if you were gonna do the tape, because these stencils are so small, they are not uniformly centered on the pad. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
You probably should use it because they're gifts.
So the Z here, perfectly centered. The Y, you can see the space up here is not. So to get them centered, what we do is we do a little line, and then
You line up the
we'll line
of
up the top or the bottom of the letter accordingly.
So Zeb, I need the nail gun because you missed quite a bit on this one. It's like just got a little snippet there, and I'm worried that it won't hold. So I just need to put one more nail
Here,
gun.
turn your face away. All right.
All right. Okay.
I actually have safety glasses for you over there, but you don't wear them.
I just look away.
No, well, those were alphabetized and now they're not.
Oh no. I alphabetized them before our video because we always take a million years to find all the letters. So can you pass me that piece of paper over
Okay,
there?
so there's joy, courage, peace, love, faith, and kind.
These are my words for my girlfriends. Each one of them gets a different word for 2020.
Let's see if I can
Just a
crop
way,
this.
that's why I like the stencils, because you can customize things. You can do things like that. You could put their names on them if you wanted to. I want them to be able to use these as decor anywhere. So that's why the word's going on the bottom, so that if they're in their kitchen, people will be like, how come your kitchen says courage? Or I don't know.
It's a reminder every day.
All right. Did Zeb make the boxes? He did. So if you're just tuning in, when we're no longer live, you can watch the beginning, see how the boxes are made. We talk about the nail gun and price and everything of it. I'm new to the milk paint. Can the molds be stained before painting, or will they even chip? So you need to make sure everything is very dry and very sealed. So what you would do is you don't need to stain them, but you need to paint them dark once they're dry. Then you need to seal them with like lacquer or 2 or 3 coats of Big Top. Let that dry for at least 48 hours, maybe even like a week. You really want that stuff cured. And the parts where you've sealed it, like the lacquer or a bunch of coats of Big Top where it's shiny, that's where when you milk paint, you will get some resist. If you don't get any resist, you can also wet distress, and that will cause chipping over the top of your molds, because wet distress will coerce that. But it's really important that your mold be all the way dry, that your paint be dry, that your sealer be dry, because if anything's fresh and new and you put that milk paint over, it's just going to chip through all the layers. So it has to be very, very dry. And then also you have to have some sort of sealer over it so it gives a resist for the milk paint. I would also consider possibly using resin instead of paper clay, because that's going to get a little bit harder, and it might give you something more to resist against. And then if for some reason it does chip all the way down to the resin, at least it's like a clear white instead of like the paper clay. Milk paint's a little bit unpredictable, but you can get it to chip over the top. And if it's not chipping, like I said, if you paint it dark, you don't need to stain it. Like brown paint will work. And then you seal it, and then you can always wet distress, and then it'll get a little cracky and chippy. And I could show you.
Is this what I'm using to stencil?
Yeah, I don't have milk paint, but I used farmhouse finishes over molds, and I think I did some of that. I can't remember how I finished. I think I just used white wax over the top.
Do you have a brush for me to stencil with, or?
Do I have what? Oh, I have these.
Did you get a brush to stencil with?
I can take out more for the giveaway. I will show you molds with milk paint over the top.
Well, we have one it's washed, so I'll go grab it.
Yeah, but it's not the branded one, it's the prototype. I want to start using these.
Oh, fine. Oh, fine.
Oh, fine.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab that real quick.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see. I dipped my brush in a little bit because it's not gonna take a whole lot of paint. And then I'm just offloading over here and getting the stencil brush mostly dried. So you can see I've got my dab of paint here, and then I just kind of offload it over to the side. So I'm gonna start in the center, and this is gonna be upside down, but I'll show you guys in a sec. And the color I'm using, Jamie's got out Weathered Wood. It's a dark gray color. Okay, so the Joy, I just lined it up right there on the bottom of my tape line. I'm gonna do the same thing with the Y, but I'm gonna let the little leg come down over. So the bottom of the Y will keep the letter uniform, and I'll do the bottom of the Y in just a second.
All right, so you can see I got some chipping up here and none on the molds, and that's because I did not let it dry, but this was what milk paint would look like over the top of the molds. I just did a white wax, but you could also do all the things that I told you earlier about the milk paint to get it to chip over the mold. So maybe we'll have to do a video on that.
Okay, so now what I've got to do, and if you don't, you could put your line at the top, and then you wouldn't have to do what I'm doing here, where I'm just going to line this back up. So the tape was mostly just to help me line it up. If you feel comfortable eyeballing it, or don't worry about it being completely uniform, you can easily just do it by hand without the tape. All right. Okay, so we've got Joy on there, just like that, and you could have filled up the whole word. So one of the cool things, I don't know if Jami discussed this, so this is going to be on the bottom, you know, the people will know it's there, but you could also flip it up like this. Let me move my stuff so I can show you guys. So you could also leave it just like that. And let's say you had some cooler pots other than these black ones that we're not trying to hide. You could also just leave it like that. With the so we've done some pots with like the IOD stuff on there, some terracotta pots or something that you can drop these down in, and you can display something, or canning jars or whatever, and just leave it just like that. Or you could just leave it almost like a sign, just sitting.
You could leave it like a sign and then put your chocolate stash inside, and then when you need it, your kids won't know where it's at, and you could just like pull it out. Be like a secret compartment.
The chocolates go in the bag.
The chocolates go in the back, and the pots go on the top. There's a lot of uses here. We're not committed to just one.
So,
all right, I gotta get
that makes them individualized. They can hold these flowers, but you can also drop them up on the top. And we could stencil the sides. But like Jami said, we're gonna let them decide if they want that to be visible all the time, and do their own thing on it if they want. So,
I don't like to give people things that they may or may not want to hear.
Like someone might get the peace one, and they're like, I'm not feeling like I got a peaceful day today. They got to flip it around, you know.
They might get these and be like, that's not my word for 2020. It's the word I'm giving them, you know. All right, toilet paper holder. Julie Marie, yes. If you need toilet paper, you could also make this into a toilet paper holder for your bathroom. Smart. See, the uses are endless. Everybody needs a box in their life.
All right, so we're going more boxes. What's the
Don't worry about the
order?
white wax. The next box is courage. 4 letters. I want to get the bottoms of these all done because I want you to do all the stenciling. I can do the rest.
That's a lot more letters.
You're much better at stenciling than I am. Did you give them all the tips about the stenciling?
Yeah.
The offloading. That's why we're giving everybody a mat because we want to encourage offloading of your brushes.
The giveaway is going to get, whoever wins the giveaway gets a mat. Okay, well that tape is no longer sticking good.
Well, it's
It's a
probably 'cause it's still
one-time
wet.
single use.
It's the most versatile box. Lynn, Lynn says I need to get well. I do need to get well. I am in the process of getting better. I actually did when I first got sick, I laid around for 3 days. Didn't actually make me better. It made me nuts. Although I am taking it easy. Yesterday I was done with my day about 4 o'clock and I didn't do anything else. After I got done with Costco, I just was done. I did cook dinner though. How was that dinner last night?
Man, this tape is not my friend today.
He's not even talking about my dinner.
Your dinner was
My
delicious.
instant pot dinner.
It was
What if you stencil
very
something
good.
on the bottom? That way if you want to use it as a box, you have a saying, and if you want to lay it down, the words won't be seen on the top. Oh, you mean like the inside here? Yeah, that was another thought. I thought about stenciling it. But sometimes it's hard to get that far inside of a box. So that's why I opted for the bottom stenciling.
Okay, 3rd time's the charm with this tape. I think it's because
It's from the dollar store.
the dollar store tape is not my friend on this.
Is it the
wet
dollar store one?
box. Yeah, it is. Courage. You're gonna make me spell courage.
I spelled it out for you. I think that's correct. Courage.
I'll prop it up again so you guys can see, kind of.
We'll just bring them in close.
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
Oh, I only have 2 more boxes. This is super fast. And we just aren't even done with our live. Sweet. I can check this off my to-do list. After this, I just have to hope that the people that I ordered the other part of the present from deliver, because it was guaranteed delivery by Friday, and I need these gifts by Saturday. I do a lot of Christmas shopping on the intranets. I shop local or on the internet. That's about it. I like to support local makers, and then I also don't like going into big box stores like Walmart or Target. My mom loves to go to Walmart, and I'm like, Mom, when you're not in town, I don't go to Walmart for months. I order online, or I pick up at Target, or most of the things that I buy are for work. How about you, Zeb?
That's pretty much all I buy.
I check our bank statement like every day to make sure everything's good on all of our accounts. And most of our purchases are for our work or for our children.
Like I get I'm set up for Home Depot to email me my receipts, and that's like the #1 email I get is Home Depot receipts.
Oh, Stephanie Prairie, to be in the giveaway, you can rewatch it for all the details, but you need to share the link to this video either in text or on your community tab or on Facebook, and then you just need to comment once you've done it with giveaway and shared. That way we know the video has been shared. We need to add a great painting tape to our product line. I think our product line is getting extensive.
We're almost a full-blown craft store now online.
And then, lucky for us, every single one of our manufacturers almost came out with entire new lines of stuff. So our poor Ivy, she's the one who ships for us. She's having to make room for all these new products. We thought when we moved to the shop that we would get, oh, I missed this whole side, that we would have all this new space for shipping. We have filled the space. We're gonna start hanging stuff from the wall. I'm not complaining. All the new products are awesome. I haven't even had a chance to use them all. Luckily, we have the shop. Could you yeah, Caitlin says, can you imagine with all the new products doing this out of the house?
Oh, it would be in the hall.
And lucky for us, all of our stencils ship directly from our manufacturer, so those don't even come here unless it's for the shop or an international order. Because if we had to have room for all those, that would also be extensive. Laura says, I don't know what it is, but every time I stencil, I suddenly start second guessing my spelling every time. Must be the notion of permanence. You know, the good news is if you misspell it, which we have done on live TV before, we just paint over it. We just wash it off and repaint it. Susan says she likes the thickness of our stencils. I don't talk about it a lot, but one of the things that makes JRB stencils unique is they're not like, if you've ever gone to the craft store and it's like a thin piece of paper type stencil, that is not what our stencils are. I specifically manufactured the JRB stencils for makers because I don't want people to have to rebuy the stencils. And I know a lot of people that use them are making gifts or home decor or they're selling stuff, so they're making like 50 or 100 signs. And so when I was working with my manufacturer, I'm like, okay, they need to be thicker. And so she made them and I was like, no, thicker. And she's like, Jamie, these are like cement stencils, like construction workers use for cement. And I was like, that'll do. So that's why they're so like thick and good quality. You can also use them to do raised stencils with mediums and spackling and stuff. So, you know, if you're gonna do something, you gotta do it well. There's a lot of stencil manufacturers out there we gotta compete with. Yay, I like that. Courage.
So we've got courage, we've got a joy going on. And
Amy says she wants project kits.
Project kits. Ooh, kits are tough because my time is limited on that and I have to do all of those things.
That's the goal by the end of 2020 though, that we're gonna have more.
We want to have some wholesale options that we can send out to our stencil retailers, but also put on the website that they're being mass produced. But I have to get to a point where I can set that up.
We need to hire somebody else and buy one more very expensive machine. So that's the goal in 2020 for us. So you can watch for that. Another thing that is going to be happening, we are working out details. We have people keep asking us for business coaching, which is totally humbling to me that anybody would want my business advice. And we are going to be opening up a new tier of channel membership. So we'll have our old tier that includes all the things that's always included, but we'll have a higher tier that includes more business coaching and a group to do the business coaching on. We are hiring somebody to help manage the group because we are super busy and we want to make sure everybody gets what they need. So we're going to have that probably coming up in the next week. So watch for that. We're excited about that. We have a conference call on it tonight.
Yep, got to get the specifics hammered out and see what we can actually offer and make sure it's beneficial and at a good price point.
Yep, so it's going to be good.
Okay, now
I'm
I need
watching
to spell
live
peace.
and Dee went in my kitchen. I heard peeking and started to look at the sound and looked back at the TV and saw Zeb pouncing the paint. I'm sorry, you guys. The stenciling pouncing really does get your animals going. I love all the animal videos that get shared on Jami Ray Vintage of people's animals
On our
reacting to our videos. They're funny.
So I'm just going to use the O over here because peace is 5 letters and I don't have 2 E's in my set. So I'm going to use the O to kind of help me get the center correct. And then I'll bring the A back over.
Did we find more ways to add hours into the day? No, we just hire more people. It's actually somebody who already works for us. We're just giving new responsibilities. You can't do it all. In fact, one of the growing pains is I feel like you add a bunch of stuff, but you don't actually really add revenue because when you first start something, there's not a lot of revenue to be had because you have to hire people. But you know what? That's the way you grow responsibly, is to slowly add things, but also add people that can do it for you. Because you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. And it's also a good thing because it offers more chances for employment and economic growth. You know, all those boring business terms. That's kind of my side of the, although Zeb's a numbers guy because he worked at Discount Tire. How many kids do we have? We also have 5 children. Also a need for economic growth. I just paid my 2 boys' wrestling fees yesterday. That was painful. And I didn't even pay all of them. Harrington still has Reno, but he has a few grades he needs to work on. And I was like, if you want me to pay for Reno, that's one of his wrestling tournaments. I'm like, you have to get your grades up. So a little incentive there. My kids are worth it. And they're stinking cute.
It's fun. I've been excited for wrestling season to start because football season's over and I'm like, oh, now I can't watch you do stuff.
We have wrestling matches this week. I'm going to miss Harrington's first match because I've got With my church, I'm over 8 congregations of girls, ages like youth, kind of I guess like a youth pastor type role. I'm in what's called the Stake Young Women's Presidency. Anyways, I have training coming up, and I've got to do that the same day as this match. But Zeb will be there, and then I think Redrick has a match on Saturday. So we'll see. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, somebody asked me. I'm using Olden Gray, which is a barnwood style stain, or could be used as a glaze, water-based. So it's not paint, it's like a stain. It's part of the new DIY line that came out in September. Renee says, our mom raised us well. We aren't above bargaining with our children. This is true. My mom's been at my house for a few weeks now. I love her so much, I gave her my cold. All right, all 6 boxes are now done. Zeb is finishing up the stenciling, and I'm going to come back behind on the ones that we did not white wax. We got 5 minutes. I don't think we're going to get them all done on this live. Did you ever imagine when you first started how big your business would grow? You know what? I kind of figured it would. I just didn't know in what ways it would grow. Do you know what I mean? Like when I first started, like I'm a dreamer, Zeb's a dreamer. We're always planning on the next big thing. But I never thought, oh, I'm going to have a stencil line. Oh, I'm going to open up a shop. Oh, I'm going to buy a 100-year-old farmhouse and make videos on it.
That one's the fun one.
That one's the big one.
That one's like the, oh man, we bit off a lot here. Not more than we can chew, but a lot. It's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, but I did know that something awesome would happen because everything we've done, we've prayed about, and we've been inspired to do whatever it is that we've been doing. And so I know whatever it is, there's a plan there. So, yeah, I mean, I knew it would grow because that's always the goal, right? But just you never know quite what will happen.
All right, I lost the V somewhere when I dropped all those, and they're clear, so we'll have to probably find it when we sweep up. But
I know there was a V because I found it when I alphabetized.
I'm going to use the Y.
Just joined them. So these, Tammy, are boxes for my girlfriends. They're going to be getting flowers in them. And I'm putting a unique word on the bottom of each box for 2020 for my girlfriends. So that's why it's on the bottom, because it's a word just for them. They can use it for decor, but the word's on the bottom. Oh, Meg's cute. She says, I've had such a nice time watching you guys live today. Being a stay-at-home mom gets lonely, but chatting and watching live has been nice. I hear you. So one of my many businesses, had a lot of them, when my kids were little, I used to do mortgages. And when we moved here, I started working for Chase Bank, and I went from them having me come in like once a week to where they wanted me in the branch 4 days a week. Well, I hadn't worked for like the last 2 years. I worked from home, and Zeb was a stay-at-home dad, so we were used to just being home all the time. And he'd gone back to work full-time, and I was gone 4 days a week, and I hated, we only had 2 kids at this time.
Disclaimer, while I was a stay-at-home dad, I went to college at nights.
This is true.
And online.
We went to college, but like they were used to having us at home is my point. And so after about a month of 4 days a week, I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. Somebody else, I'm done. Like I want to be home with my kids. And I had never hardly so much as babysat. And I only had 2 kids. I opened up a daycare. I was at home for 2.5 years with my children and 5 other children that did not belong to me. And then a few part-time kids. So sometimes I've had like 9 kids at my house. And so back then I would paint during nap time. And it was mostly just for myself, but I would like get little projects and paint in my kitchen or in my garage. And I did a lot of scratch cooking. And that's how I made my life exciting. And when I got really, like I needed to get out with all these children, I would load them all in my giant SUV. So everybody had a buckle. And we would go to McDonald's. And everybody would get like 1/4 of a cheeseburger and some fries because, you know, daycare budget's not big. And then we'd go to the grocery store and everybody got a free cookie. And I would see how much grocery shopping I could get done with 7 children before the cookie was gone. And I got the best. It mostly was exciting because people would give me looks like, are those all your children? They don't all look alike. And I just smile and wave. It was good times.
All right, so I used the Y for the V. It worked out.
Oh, man.
I couldn't find it, but made it work.
Carolyn says, when you put God first, your blessings multiply. It is absolutely true. It's like an insurance policy. You pay your tithes, and you serve your God, and then you do everything else.
All right, these might be too wet. I don't think I can get the tape to stick down on these. They're still...
This one's dry.
That one's drier? Okay.
Here, let me wipe this off some more.
Okay, Faith is next. Where'd the F go?
That's funny, Jamie. I'm curious now how much groceries you were able to get in the cookie time. You know, enough that the cart was full of kids, you guys. So there wasn't a whole lot of space. But I could get some milk and bread and maybe some fresh vegetables, you know, the essentials. Oddly enough, it was easier to shop with my daycare kids than it was with my children, my school-age children, like as they got older, because my kids ask for stuff. Daycare kids don't say, hey, Jamie, can you buy me that box of cereal? They were cool, so they just had their cookie. And if I had to buy a lot of stuff, my next secret weapon was when we got to the checkout stand, I had gummy snacks. And everybody got one gummy snack. So their mouths were full while I checked out. It was good. My mother-in-law, I used to call her every day and tell her all the funny stuff. She's like, you should have wrote a book, but I didn't write it down. But a lot of really funny stuff happened when I have daycare kids. The funniest story, I think, is when there was a little boy. I will not mention his name. He's Odelia's age now. I had a bunch of kids that were Odelia's age that I daycared. So now she's like 14, so they're all teenagers. But he had gotten into his sister's purple hair dye and hadn't been found for a while, so it had been all over his skin. And he looked like the little girl from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Violet. He was covered in purple. His dad was like, you might not want to go anywhere for this week. I was like, I'll take him out purple. He's not my kid. And that kid was purple for like a solid week. They tried everything to get the hair dye off, but it didn't work. And it was only funny because it wasn't my kid. Caitlin says she cannot grocery shop with her kids. I get that. She has 2 boys, 1 year apart, and they are real good. It'd be like having 2 Jacks.
It's
Amy
almost...
Drew says, some of my family were Mormons and moved to Utah in the 1800s. Apparently they were well known. Zeb actually has family that goes all the way back to Pioneer Heritage. My family is from like the South and West Virginia, and we have more of like, my mom's family's all Southern Baptist. So I don't really have that heritage, but Zeb goes way far back. I tell him I'm adding to the gene pool. Because most of his family's pioneers, so they share some genetics. I'm adding the crazy. Oh, Desiree's on her. So I did that daycare, and then Desiree Ross, her little boy, who comes over to my house all the time, it makes me happy. When I moved to where we live now, I just watched her little boy and another little girl. Subsequently, I still watch in the summertime, even though she's like 9. And he came over to my house, and you know what the funny thing is? He's just like a super picky eater, but when he came to my house, he would eat all this stuff. And now that I don't watch him anymore, he's still picky, but he does like ramen noodles. If I have pancakes, Riker will eat himself some pancakes. So I don't know if he eats Easy Mac or not. Anyways, yeah, he's a cute little boy. I love him. All right. Caitlin says, I always am like, how do these moms go to the store and multiple littles, bless their souls? I know. Now I'm to the point where when people go to the store and their kids are screaming, I'm like, walk the other way. All right. We got one
more. You want to get them all set up, like maybe on top of each other so we can show them all the stencils?
Where in West Virginia? Oh, man, I don't really know. So my maiden name is Harrington, and they still have land in West Virginia. So if you know where the Harrington from West Virginia are, those are my people.
We'll show you at the end all the boxes stacked up here. I'm going to hurry and get this last one
I'm going to have to
done.
touch them up a little bit because I missed a few spots with stain.
We're just going to go with that one. All right, spelling out kind.
Can you still see with me stacking? Okay.
Yeah. Where is the K? Got it. Now we just need the N and we're good. Oh my goodness, we've got all the letters for this.
Sweet.
I didn't lose them on the floor.
I got all my friend gifts done from my favorite things party. Now I just have to get them all in bags and make sure to put everybody's names on them because everybody gets a different word.
it does not take a lot of this DIY paint to stencil. I've dipped the brush maybe 4 times to do all of this, and then I've just been offloading. So it goes a long way.
Desiree said that I opened Riker's horizons to new food groups. That's true. At my house, like, you can't be picky. When I used to do daycare, this is another cute little story. One of my best girlfriends, her little boy was one of my part-timers. He only came when she worked a little bit. And he was like short, but he could walk. So it looked a little funny because he didn't look like he should be tall enough to be walking. And then as he got older, he started talking, and I told you I used to make everything from scratch. That's how I passed my time. So when I did daycare, I made all my own bread. And one day he voiced his opinion. He said, "Mom, I want Miss Jami's bread." So she calls me up and she's like, "So what bread are you buying?" I'm like, "I only make bread." So she actually came over and I taught her how to make bread. And it was the easiest recipe ever. And she started making all her own bread after that. But she's like, "I want Miss Jami's bread." Now I don't make bread anymore. I know how, but I don't.
There's just not a lot of time for bread making in our day.
There's not. But I was home all day, so I was like, okay, I gotta stretch this daycare budget. How am I gonna do it? So I bought only basic ingredients and I made everything from scratch.
All right, I'm gonna set this on here.
Desiree says he eats meatloaf, tacos, and chicken enchiladas. Good to know. I'll have to make sure I keep those.
These look kind of cool all together.
Yeah, so these are all 6 that I made for my favorite things party. Here's all the words, and I'll show you what they look like with the plants in them. So this came about because we have a small budget for our favorite things, but I didn't want to just give the plants like this, but I ran out of money in my budget because we only spent a certain amount. So I found this old wood, and we made boxes, and now all my girlfriends will go home with a box, some cute spring flowers with a word, and also another item, and I will stay within my $20 budget. So super excited. I can't wait to see all the things. My girlfriends always have the most sweet gifts, and my gifts usually aren't as like heartfelt because I'm super busy. So I'm hoping this year I get girlfriend points because we made them and they have words. You guys, make sure you hit up JamiRayVintage.com for all the products, or stop by the shop if you're local. Be sure to share this video for the giveaway. If you're just tuning in, watch the video again. You can get all the information on the giveaway. Next week we'll announce the winner.
If you're sharing, don't forget to comment and like the video and do all the things.
And then make sure
so that we know that you did it.
Giveaway and share. And I didn't mention this. This is going to be open worldwide as long as it's legal to ship to your country. It's not just the United States. That's why I kept it something flat, so we can ship it anywhere without it being cost prohibitive. All right, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
All right, guys, love you. Thanks for joining Waste Not Wednesday.